Hi, Scorpio, and welcome to your December 2022 read. Happy holidays. How are you guys doing? Okay, let's get started. We're getting started with Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus. And let's see what's going on. What's been happening? What does Spirit want us to know? And or downloads, whatever downloads we get from Spirit also. Okay? All right. Let's see what else is what's happening for December. Okay. So we have the 8 of Swords, the 5 of Swords, and the Tower. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? And the 8 of Swords is reversed. So someone said, I'm out. I mean, no kidding. I'm out. I'm done. Right? I'm done. I freed myself. Someone freed themselves because of a fight ensued. Here's the 5 of Swords in the middle right here saying someone abused their power. Interesting enough, if you're dealing with a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this could have been who you're dealing with because you came out in their reading as well. And I believe another sign also. Might have been Gemini. I'm not sure. So this depicts abuse of power, of one's power, getting, trying to get one up, say things that are very rude, mean, demeaning, and someone just freed themselves, or it already happened, or it is getting ready to happen, where someone said, I'm out. We're not doing this anymore. I'm cutting ties. There you go. Because of the lies, manipulation, someone made promises they couldn't keep, and it finally caught up with them, right? This is an immature, it's a page. Come on. It's an immature act of misuse of power. It could even be someone who's been doing this for the course of their lifetime, over the course of their lifetime, where maybe they're not even, recognizing, Spirit says, maybe don't recognize how they speak to others that is so condescending. And if that's the case, I'm out. Not going to revisit. Someone's been cut out of the situation. Thank God, right? If you or someone else cut this out, this type of behavior is not and no longer going to be acceptable. And if you have, Scorpio, been dealing with someone who is condescending, or you have been condescending to them, it's time for us to cut ties for good, right? That's what happens. It's just, we're just not revisiting. And that's exactly Libra's read. So Spirit's asking you to be patient with yourself and others. It could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius with literally all the swords going on here. But what makes me more concerned than anything is the abuse of power over, like a decade, right? Maybe 8 months, but more like 8 years of people trying to take advantage of others for their own purpose, right? So Spirit saying, I'm watching this. I have been I'm obviously watching the shenanigans of yourself or others, and, it can no longer be tolerated. That's what they're saying. Another, and under the guise of now, right, a drink, let's toast to those who have cut those people out of their lives who were demeaning and have been misusing their power. Ironically so, you could definitely be dealing with a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and you're now, if you're drinking, you could be drinking your sorrows, or maybe you're happy about it, right? It doesn't matter. What matters is an Aries, Leo, Sag here, right? Whether it's in your natal chart or not, someone thought they were going to take advantage, right? This Leo, Aries, Sag that's here is someone who does not hold a crown. There's a reason why this guy doesn't have a crown, because he's the one that messes around, so to speak. I'm not saying just in a literal sense. I'm saying it more in this read as a figurative sense of the word. Like, I won, right? I won. I keep winning. I keep fighting, but I'm fighting against your own. You're fighting against your own self, or someone else is, right? Someone's is not going to tolerate the shenanigans of another, especially with verbal abuse being the case. It's just not happening, right? So a decision was made, right? Someone was contemplating this for a minute, maybe for the last 2 years, 2 months for others, where like this cannot be tolerated. There has to be a reason why someone must be so in pain. Someone who is verbally abusive and physically abusive must be in pain from their past, right? And if it is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius that recognizes that pain, they're also not going to put up with it, right? So we see that literally, Scorpio, if this is you or someone in your nearest and dearest of circles, you have now you are now not needing to do anything but like get back to a sense of groundedness, and maybe, as I tell my clients, to do a mini life review and revisit your past 8 months, 8 years, to see what it is that is really the harbinger, bearer of bad news. Meaning, did someone abuse their power because they were losing ground by this night, in a financial way, right? Someone could have freaked the F out, saying, I don't have the financial wherewithal, so grasping onto straws pretty much for security, right? And maybe thinking that was going to be the case. And so we're, if this is you or someone else, hurtful words, hurtful actions, demeaning, condescending, basic abuse of power is no longer, the nail's been put in the cross, right? We have crosses to bear. It's been going on for too long, and now it's time to reflect. Seriously, time, Scorpio, for you to reflect how you allow, or how others have literally left your life, some longer term than others, some quicker than others, but nonetheless, we are not putting up with abuse of power in any way, shape, or form. The bottom of this deck is, oh my gosh. Like, were we, or were you, or did someone promise to, to love and honor, right? Is this a promise of loving and honoring someone else, but through acts of, right, unkindness? I mean, how does that happen, right? When someone makes promises here, all right, these were promises that were unkept. These are fights because, okay, these cards are very significant here. Someone said, oh my God, I love you. I'm in love with you. I want to marry you. I want to live together. Let's get together. I want to be with you, over and over again. And it was a lie, right? It was to appease another. It was to get one over on another based upon perhaps and potentially, how am I going to manipulate the financial wherewithal of a situation because I'm drowning here type of situation. You know what I mean? So others' actions led to the Ten of Swords for sure, where someone said, I'm out, I'm done. This and the Tower was like a sudden, we're done. We've put the nail in the coffin, literally saying, we're not going to put up with these shenanigans any longer. And that was my niece. And we're out, you know? And this is the final, like, curtain call, so to speak, right? Scorpio, we're not going back. Either is literally a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There's no resolution when it comes to unkept promises and a bunch of condescending arguments over the course of time. Okay, so we have here, and for others, you're married. They're married, right? Or you're married. Someone may have wanted to breach the institution of sacred love, right? For others, a fight ensued because maybe you were waiting, Scorpio, or someone's waiting for a commitment, someone who's already, and it doesn't have to be marriage. Some of you, it is marriage, but others, it's someone's in already a union, and we're hoping maybe that maybe they promised you that they would leave their person, right? Maybe they promised and they love you and you're the one and all that. And it became a sore spot, and now it's a scar that needs to get healed, because this is deep. These are deep wounds right here with even, you know, I mean, come on. This is over the course of many, many years, right? So if you have been with someone for a long time, period of time, who made promises they couldn't keep, again, married or not, they're not leaving anytime soon, right? Look at this. Let's see. Someone said, I'm done. If you can't make this happen, we're done, right? Maybe someone promised you this was going to happen. Let's see. All right, here goes an Aries, Leo, Sag, which came out in the read for Libras. Okay, so you're dealing with someone who misused their power and now is walking away because maybe they just didn't want to hurt your feelings. Maybe if they're married, they really, it's that saying, Scorpio, that, you could love two people at the same time, right? I mean, you can. But the thing is, then if you're with someone who's already, in a committed bond of sacred union, in whatever kind of love that is, we have to really come to terms with why we want others that are unattainable. That's unattainable, with tainted with abandonment issues, right? Someone's still scorned, right? All right. That's intense, is it not? Right. Okay. Let's get the Light Seers deck and get more of the narrative, what Spirit wants to impose upon us, because this is really important for your growth and your well-being. I mean, we're not joking here, right? A lot of, and I'm going to say it, we are in a the seasons of change have happened, are here, and now our year is closing up. And every time this happens, we need to reassess the year and look at the things that have inspired us and or the things that have lost their fervor. There are things, people, places, and things that no longer serve us for our highest good intention, right? And when that happens, we keep going back to the same old thing, you know, but history only repeats itself if you allow it. And it's time to take control of your life, and others are doing so as well. As we close up 2022, excuse me, trying to, as we said, 222 is 246. It's a 6-year. It's been all about literally, excuse me, what Libras know so well is balancing the yin and the yang. And once you cut those ties, you can finally free yourself of people, places, and things coming back and promising you the same old crap and telling you the same old stuff. And, you know, we're not putting up with that any longer. It cannot sustain any longer. And once we cut those ties, we also cut our ancestral ties to that which is the family union of all of those people from our ancestors, right? So that's karmic endings on a huge scale. That's what we've been dealing with this year, 2022. It's the yin and the yang. It's trying to get balancing the feminine with the masculine and finally making the decision to cut the ties that bind you with karmic relationships, friendships including, not just love of all. People, places, and things. That's why I say that. It's a karmic end so that we can move into 2023, right? Which will solidify our spiritual journey and keep us growing and moving in the right direction. Okay, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus. What is and what are the messages for the beautiful Scorpions who need really to make these decisions for themselves, right? Look at this. 2 of Pentacles. I'm sorry. Yes, 2 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. Am I right? 5 of Pentacles, yeah. And the Magician. So we tried to manifest, right? Trying to manifest what it is that we want and or need in our lives. But with a 5 of Pentacles, you're dealing with half your heart. You're not dealing with your entire heart. And the decision to manifest whatever it is that you want, you're not doing it at a 10. You're doing it at a 5, right? So by doing that, sorry. Okay. So by doing that, you're lessening your chances of success because you're not feeling yourself. It's like you're dealing with half of yourself right now, and you need to make a decision about where you're going to, look in the mirror, right? Come on, and look at your reflection. What is it telling you? What is the decision now telling you? Are you feeling like you lost a part of yourself in any situation at all, right? Over the course of time, you have given maybe to others, etching yourself in situations and circumstances that, lo and behold, you're half the person you used to be because you haven't healed from the past type of situations that maybe influenced your life, right? So when we do that, which I ask my clients, do a mini life review over the course of the last, let's say decade. The last 3 significant relationships. Did you do the same things? Were you the same person? Were you acting out of kindness, or were you acting out of maybe a hidden manipulative type of situation that were you verbally nice, or were they not verbally nice? I mean, it goes both ways. Okay, so when you look in the mirror, you have to take responsibility for the people, places, and things that have made you feel like, you know, you don't belong, you feel less than, you're at a 5, okay? That means spiritually and numerologically that change must happen. And you know that here with the 2. You got to make a decision, right? Let's see what Spirit says with regard to that. Look at that. It's your card. It is a death and a rebirth. You are going through the dark. Some of you, I heard, okay, so I did hear many. So many of you Scorpios are going through the dark night of the soul, not knowing yourself, not knowing who's looking back in the mirror, and trying to assess what's happened over the course of time. As you should. It is not a journey that is discussed because it's a hard one. It's going to take you a minute to take back to take your heart to new places of circumstances that will open your heart instead of close your heart, right? This is a closing of the heart, being half, right? So Spirit saying take your time here and realize that the things that are not moving in the direction that you want them to right now is because you need to get through this rebirth. You're like the phoenix rising right now. Many of you are. Look at that. The 10 of Swords again. So death and rebirth over and over again. That's the 8th house. That's your home of death and rebirth. You are very comfortable in that way of things blowing up, going back to the past, wanting to redo certain things, but doing them over again in the same manner, like, you know, the boy that cried wolf, right? Coming back to the situation, but not being a different person because you're still dealing with half your heart, not all of your heart, because you're still healing from what this 10 of Swords is. You've got to understand that there's a reason behind everything as in the universe. You're the phoenix rising. You're going to have to give yourself time to really heal here. 10 of Swords means, and you may be feeling like you're the victim, but are you the victim inside, in your heart of hearts? Do you feel like you are the victim? Are you holding back your heart? And have you been holding back your heart because you don't understand why these things happen to you? And that's the beginning of a spiritual journey. We must heal each of these lessons that we have over the course of time, over the course of 10 years, let's say. Look back and go back and see where things went awry, where things were said and done in the ways that were repetitive. And those patterns that were repetitive etched not only off of your own self, but off of others. And when we're not working together, now we don't need to work together with anyone, all right, Scorpio? You need your time alone, right? I'm seeing Jerry Maguire, right? When all of the girlfriends, you know, got on the screen and said, Jerry needs to be alone. He can't be alone. That's what they said, right? And then he had to go through his dark night of the soul by streamlining and dealing with one person, one client, and really honing in on one client, right? And finding his MO. He found his place of Zen and love again for his job by taking care of one client who gave him that attention, adoration, and promise of whatever promises were kept. You know, that Jerry Maguire said, show me the money, right? Whatever. And that may have significance here. But the point is that you're going through that exact type of situation where you do need to figure out, like, the Ten of Swords, and are you or is someone else playing the victim? Excuse me. And when we speak words that are not nice to others and they do that in return, like, why are you putting up with it, or why should they put up with it? I mean, seriously. Okay? Let's look at the bottom of this deck. Let's plant new seeds now for the future. Take one seed at a time. So I would suggest that taking and putting everything you have right now into planting new seeds for the future, right? Whatever that is, whether that's meeting new people, whether it's going to new grounds of, putting down new roots, okay? The past is over. Got it? The past is over. We've already seen it go away. Send it love and light, and now let's start over, right? And when we start over, we must forgive ourselves. We must really, really figure out what drives our reasons behind the reason. What really matters to you, Scorpio? And right? How are we going to get past our feminine and masculine, forgiving oneself, forgiving the mother and or the father of who were, were raising us, and, owning up to it, taking responsibility. This is a time for that. And that's why they call the dark night of the soul a very dark place to be in, because when things end, instead of now, maybe for some of you, instead of playing the victim, maybe now taking responsibility or having others take responsibility for their actions, right? And once we take responsibility, we are able then to forgive ourselves and or our parents and or the people that we've hurt or they've hurt us. It's just, it then manifests into growing back that Five of Pentacles, your heart space, and putting back, like Humpty Dumpty, right? Had a great fall. I mean, seriously. All right. So this is what's important now, right? Finding new ground, going back to a place that feels like home. Maybe some of you are going back home to where you grew up, to your family, unit of entrusted, family and friends, right? And doing so that you can, get a new perspective. When sometimes that's what happens when we are going on vacation or when we move. That enables us to change our energy up and to move our energy. And by moving our energy, be that a relocation or be that a vacation, that's why they're so important for us, for our growth, to go back to a place where you feel happy again. What made you happy, right? And I'm not talking about going back and revisiting this. I'm not. That door's closed. It's shut, right? Those karmic ties of your past have been severed, okay? And you can maybe not now, but later you can thank God for that, for the ability to see yourself once again in light, or in a new light of a new day, okay? And that's what we're going to do. You're going to go back to loving yourself, being happy, and going back home to a place that you call home, that makes you happy, with family and maybe new friends and new places to to go to so that you can awaken your passionate self again. Some of you have lost that passion, that drive for life, right? Life is in session, you guys. I said it, I did say it in the Truth Be Told reading just last week or this week, whatever, right? It's life is in session. Life is to be lived, but we also have to be very cognizant of the people and places that have hurt us and what we have hurt and how we are hurting. We need to take full responsibility for this is death, and this is rebirth. Okay? And then underneath that is the severing of, right, what hurt us in the past, we have to heal. Allow yourself to heal your heart right here. Heal your heart and move on. By taking responsibility, by looking at the situation from every angle, every aspect, and owning up to whatever it is that has hurt you and or has once again made you reassess why this happened again, or how did this happen again. You know, take a really good look at your life. The last 10 years, I would say, for sure. I tell my clients that because the last 10 years really imposes some great truths when we look at who we select in our lives to be with us, how we treat others, and how we were treated as kids from our family and those who raised us. This Scorpio, this read for you is to shut the door on your past and really start living a life that you will not see yourself as a victim, but you will see yourself as a forgiving, yin and yang, masculine, feminine. Forgive those that have hurt you, starting from your family ties, right? And those that have hurt you after that, and whom you've hurt, right? It works both ways. Okay, Karma Oracle message is to focus and hone in on what rules were imposed upon you and why everything had to be so dramatic in relationships. And did you get a fair deal, or did they? Are we looking at the results of how we have taken certain ways of dedication? Like, our perspective is very different from others, right? And do you feel that you really and truly own up to dedicating yourself to the people, places, and things that you enjoy and that you saw as charming and witty and cooperative and balancing your life by the attraction and pleasures of the externals? Think about it. Think about your day-to-day, your business life, your personal life. Do you look at others only from the eyes of the outside of a person, the external look of a person, instead of seeing their value from within? If that's the case, that's very egoic, right? We look at the materialism, we look from the ego, we look at, how much money we need to make, who looks good with us, the trophy, let's say the trophy wife, whatever, and and the partners that you've chosen in life for whatever reason, does that thread, have significance in how you've chosen to be with others and how others have chosen to be with you, right? Is it all about the 3D? All about the wealth, the power, the drive, the ego, the desire, the look, right? Or can you sever those relationships and see and seek a deeper value of whom you choose in your life and who chooses you? The attraction, right? I'm hearing that Rod Stewart song. The attraction was purely physical. For some of you, the attraction was purely physical. And your goal was somewhat of a competition to win over, for some, to win over someone who may have been in already a relationship, right? Trying to compete. For others, it's about really cherishing yourself and realizing that realizing and understanding that you have impacted others in significant ways for them to appreciate, to cherish, but also to learn from and move on from. I was having a hard time expressing that. So rise up to what it is, Scorpio, now that will be what your new life will look like next year, in the sense of, new people in your life, new friends, new environments. Move your energy, get it going. If you are going through the dark night of the soul, allow yourself the time, because if you don't allow yourself enough time to heal, you're going to recapture the same kind of relationships that you just came out of the Ten of Swords with. So do what you feel is in your heart of hearts, with, the pureness of spiritual values that you have. Okay, within and without. That's what this is about, within and without. Okay? I send you so much love and so many blessings for a new beginning, Scorpio. Take this new beginning, go enjoy your life, and we all are in this together. We share the same dark night of the soul, and just keep moving on. Okay? And I'll see you next year. Take care.